Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar where we are going to talk about our high school program in the Netherlands. I'm Regina Fulop. I'm the coordinator at Yourway Education Spain. And I have Anna Myers here with me from Travel Active. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Travel Active is our partner, our Dutch partner in this program. So before I give you the word, I'm going to talk a little bit about Yourway Education. Okay, so just a couple of words. I promise I will be really brief and very quick, so that I can let Anna to talk more about and more details about the program. Yourway Education is a family-owned and family-operated company group. And in the center of our business is the students. So we usually focus on the long-term goals of our students. And we try to make sure that we take good care of them during the program. This is why we always have local coordinators in each country, just like Travel Active in the Netherlands, who can provide services during the program. We are an international company with an international team. So it means that we have the benefit of economies of scale in knowledge and innovation. So we can offer you higher quality in our programs for lower prices. During our programs, we collaborate with schools and local partners, and we pay attention to select very carefully who we work with. So we take pride in working only with the best in class in terms of schools and partners, and this is why we partnered up with Travel Active in this Dutch program. And finally, we are specialized only in high school programs. We offer programs all over the world, North America, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and so on. We do have programs in both private and public schools with accommodation possibilities in boarding schools and with host families. As I mentioned, we are an international company. We have offices in Spain, Portugal, and Hungary within Europe. And we also have operations in Brazil and Angola. Now, if we look at our numbers, we usually have around 85 to 100 students per year from 5 different nationalities. And we offer up to 20 countries of destination each year. And to turn to our program in focus today, the program in the Netherlands. In this program, we partnered up with Travel Active, as I mentioned before, and we divide our services between the two of us during the program. So it means that Yourway Education is responsible for providing services to the families in home countries, while Travel Active provides services to the students in the Netherlands. And on this note, I'd like to give you the word, Anna, and you can talk about your company and the details of the program.
Well, thank you, Regina, for introducing me and giving me this opportunity to talk to your students and the parents. I'm sharing my screen, and so we can have a look at the presentation that I made for you. First of all, I was quite honored when you said that we were chosen as best in class. I also think that we are best in class. And that we are known for our high quality, but I have to prove that first. So let me start by doing that. In this wonderful picture, you see. Can I make that even bigger? I don't need to think. You see, one of the groups that we welcomed in this one in 2022, I think, and all these kids, I know them, I see their faces and I know their stories, and that's the great thing. High quality is not about numbers of students, it's about who they are and how they perform on the program. First of all, they should have the time of their life. And that means that we have to take care of them. Providing services is one thing, but taking care of your students while they're on your program, that is the difference between a nice program or a year to remember. And that means that all staff involved in this exchange is very involved, really involved. They know their students. They care for their students, and also when they're not doing too well, all students can make a mistake in their program. It's they're adolescents. They should make mistakes. That's what they're there for. But they should also learn from their mistakes and get the chance to improve or show different behavior. Well, I mean, these kids have their stories, and some made their mistakes, but in the end, they all, went home with a lot of life, experience more. The Netherlands, well, if you're from Portugal, or from Spain, or from Hungary, then you probably know what the Netherlands is. It's that very small flag right there. The Netherlands, we're squeezed in between all kinds of countries where they all speak different languages than ours. We speak the Dutch language. It doesn't even sound like the Netherlands, but the language is called Dutch. I often have to really explain where our country is to people from Brazil. Maybe it's too far or it's just too small. Few pictures of our beautiful country. We are a small country, but we are a great place, and it's. I still enjoy living in this country. This is the port of Rotterdam. Well, might be very industrial, but we're still very proud of it. It's the second largest port in the world, even for a small country like ours. But we are at the gate of Europe. Via Rotterdam, all kinds of goods find their way into Europe through our harbors. There's more to see in the Netherlands. This is the beautiful city of Amsterdam. You see no high rises here. It's like living in a museum. I'm not sure if you can see where my mouse is, but this is our central station, and our office is right there. It's right in the center of Amsterdam, and close by the canals. And when I go to the office in the morning, I take my bike, and I live right there on the river, and it takes about 15 minutes for me to ride my bike to work. And that's also what you will experience when you live in the Netherlands. We give you a bike, you get a travel active bike, and that's your main means of transportation, especially going to school. So most students are within cycling distance of their school. We think that is completely normal, but if you are born and raised in Brazil, for example, it is far from normal. But the sense of freedom that you get and the safety also that you experience when riding your bike to school, that is incomparable. That is great. We're known for our tulips. You see these beautiful flower fields, especially in spring, of course. In April, it's all free for you to enjoy. Take your bike and cycle along the flower fields if you're in that area. And if you don't live in that area, it can never be more than 2 hours by train to get there. So that's another advantage of living in the Netherlands. Everything is close because we're such a small country. On weekends, exchange students often want to visit places in the Netherlands. The Dutch railway system is fantastic, and you can take a train to anywhere for just under €8 per day. So our students make use of that almost every weekend, either with their host family or with other exchange students or friends that they've made in the local community. This is our National Park, the Hoge Veluwe. We have more national parks in our country. So if you think it's too small and there's too many people living there, 18 million, it's one of the most densely populated countries in the world. We still have room for lots of nature, also with wildlife. And in this national park, we even have wolves that have returned to the Netherlands, causing problems also, but we love them, have them back. They became extinct and now they're back. So apparently we're doing quite well. We're also doing well because we're not underwater. 25% of our country is physically underwater, but we keep the water out by the Delta plan. You can see that in the left bottom corner. We had a big disaster in 1953 when much of the country was flooded by a big storm with many casualties. And after that, we said, hey, we never want to water in again. So our engineers built the Delta plan, and now we help other countries, for example, the US with Hurricane Katrina, to keep the water out. So the Dutch are very good at that. And you have to be if 25% of your surface is below sea level. You don't have to worry about a thing. Then there's our royal family. I saw just this morning that we have the president of South Korea visiting the Netherlands. So last night I saw a big, lots of cars and our king passing by to the royal palace in Amsterdam, where he was going to meet or welcome the president of South Korea. It all just happens right here. This is one of the palaces of the royal family. This is Het Loo. They don't even live here. This is one of the extras. But the king and his queen, Maxima, she's from Argentina. They live at Huis Den Bosch in The Hague. That one you can't visit. This one you can. Then, one of the most beautiful parts of the country are the Wadden Sea Islands up north. There's 5 islands that belong to the Netherlands, and you can go there if you can visit on weekends or during holiday vacation. They're beautiful to visit. I used to go there with my parents twice a year, always to the one specific island, and we all, the Dutch, have grown up by doing their holidays in the north in the Netherlands. Friesland, the province, is known for water, for sailing, but also taking the boat to the island. And this one. The picture itself might not be that nice, but it does say a lot about our country. Everything is arranged. Every single centimeter of surface has been thought about. We don't waste any land, and you can absolutely show it, see it here, that we don't. We use everything. We have to be very efficient if there are so many people living in such a small country. Is the Netherlands all flat? No, not really. We do have a mountain. It's just over 300 meters high. You won't get any more, but we do have a beautiful province of Limburg in the south, and it's a very hilly environment. It's also beautiful, and you see Limburg in the fall. All right, well, I think I've convinced you about coming to the Netherlands as a country of natural beauty and lots of things to see. One of the things that you will receive when you choose to come to the Netherlands on the High School Holland program is a museum card. And the museum card gives you access for free to any museum in the Netherlands. And it's often a wonderful way of discovering our country. So you can choose which museum you want to visit, and then just take the train to go there on weekends. Bring your host family. They probably see more of the Netherlands than they've ever seen during your stay with them. you also have to go to school. So the High School Holland program is a cultural exchange program. It is not a study program. Study, of course, is an important part of a cultural exchange. It's about full immersion into Dutch society, Dutch culture, and that's why you go to school, to high school, and you're either placed at HAVO or VWO. So there's two levels of high school. One prepares for vocational training. So if you want to become a teacher or a policeman or a nurse later in life, then you probably go to HAVO and then go to a vocational school after you graduated from high school. VWO prepares for a university. As you can see, you will be placed in 9th grade or 10th grade or 11th grade, and the Dutch high school system for VWO has 12 grades. That means that you will never be placed in the 12th grade because, first of all, you have to learn the Dutch language, which is quite difficult, I must say, as will be for me to learn Hungarian or Portuguese or even Spanish. So I had to not burden you too much with the academic workload. We will not place you in the final grade of high school, but in the just below a grade, the 11th grade. When you go to HAVO, it will be the 10th grade. You still have to work hard enough, and it will take you about 2 or 3 months to master the Dutch language. And you will have to learn the Dutch language. We will help you very actively to study the Dutch language, and you will learn. Often Spanish mothers, Dutch or Portuguese mothers, they think that their kids cannot actually learn a different language, but you can. Your brains are very young, and you pick up these languages very fast, and especially when you go to a Dutch-speaking school and you live with a Dutch-speaking host family. And we tell them to speak Dutch to you from day one. They will absolutely help you and translate in English, for example, but it is Dutch from day one. It might be tiring in the first few weeks, but that's the only way to pick it up really fast. Well, the Dutch education system, I explained to you how it works. There's a very high level of education in the Netherlands. We pride ourselves in the school system, and that is also the reason why we are confident to place you in public high schools. We have some private schools, but these private schools only cater to expats. They're international schools. The public high schools have a very high level, so that's the reason why we can place you in a school of choice by your host family. All classes are taught in Dutch. There are a few schools that offer a bilingual program. A bilingual meaning 50% of your classes will be in Dutch still, and 50% of your classes will be in English. But this is only available for students in the ages of 14, 15, maybe go on 16, that we can place in 9th grade, because that is the last grade where the bilingual is 50-50. And from the 10th grade, you will still get some classes in English, but only like 20-25%. And the only reason for that is that Dutch students prepare for their exams in Dutch. So from 10th grade, when they choose their profile, they have to prepare for their exams in the final grade in Dutch. So bilingual, it's a great program, but only for the youngest students on the High School Holland program. Convalidation, so if you want your year in the Netherlands, if you choose to come here for a year or semester, convalidated, so as a replacement of your curriculum in your own country, there are possibilities. That means that the schools will provide you with a transcript with all the information that you require or your school requires, and you will get grades for the tests that you take. So you can convalidate your school results if accepted by your own school. But the fact that the level of education is quite high, there is a good chance that your school will accept our means of education, our methods, and our tests. Good thing about the Netherlands is that we do not make you use or wear a uniform to school. So you can just wear whatever you like, if it's not too compromising. But if you dress nicely, you're welcome to go to school. You can take your bike to school. Some students live a little further, and they take a public bus to go to school, maybe even train. But some 95% of all our students are placed in the vicinity of where the host families live, which could be anywhere in the country. We place students all the way up north, almost on the beach in the north, but also all the way down in Maastricht, which is the most southerly large town in the Netherlands. And we place students there, so it could be anywhere. Is one area or one province better than the other? I think it's all the same, because we want you to become part of your local community. If you are placed in the city of Amsterdam, you're not part of a local community because it's a very anonymous city where we live. That also goes for other bigger cities, but you also want to be close to where the museums are, or also stuff that you can choose to see. It's not important where your host family live. Everything is close. Use your weekends to discover our country. It's more important that you become part of this local community in a not so large town, and then become part of the local community by taking up a sport or doing the sport that you already do in your own country. Because the host families, we think it's really important to match the student with the host family. It's always the host family that chooses the student, but we try to influence that because of mutual interests. So if we get a student from Spain who's really eager to play field hockey, then we will go through a local club in the Netherlands and make sure that the student gets placed in a team at the level required. So that's for one. And we also find the host family through the club. So a field hockey minded host family for a hockey playing student from Spain. That is also, that's almost a match made in heaven. But we're really aimed at making sure that these two are combined, and that could be for any other sport or activity. So if a student is really into culture and art and visiting museums or dance or whatever, then we make sure that we also find the host family through entities that are into dance or whatever. So host families consisting of multiple family members. We do have some single fathers, single mothers that also host. They're also wonderful host families, and only those students that are a little older, that are already quite independent, can be matched with single host fathers, single host mothers. Most students, I think about 90-95%, are placed with multiple family members, and often also with children still living at home, because that is what a cultural exchange is all about. It's not so much about exchanging people, it is about exchanging culture. So learning from your culture, what you bring to the Netherlands, and they are more than willing and eager also to share our culture, our society with you, also through our language. So if you have more people living in one family, the exchange is even more valuable. The great thing is that we do not pay our host families. That sounds very cheap. The Dutch are also known for that a bit, but voluntary host families means that that cultural exchange is their only a main reason to host. If this exchange actually costs them, they provide for room and board, so they make sure that you have your own room, your own bed, place to study, but also 3 meals a day. That is their contribution. And in return, they do not need you to be grateful or anything, but they do expect you to share your culture with them and take part in family life. You really become part of the family. It is not a paid homestay. No, it's their invitation to you to become part of their family. So they welcome you not just in their home, but also in their heart, and that is the most important thing. I'm always pleasantly surprised. I'm always amazed by how wonderful these families are that decide to host a student. Support while on exchange in the Netherlands. A network, yes, we have a team of 60 local coordinators. Next year we will welcome about 130 students to the Netherlands. We have a first group arriving this January in 2024, and then a larger group of about 90 students in August. So that also means that places are quite limited. So if you want to take part in the high school Holland program, make sure that you decide and apply early. In January, for example, we have most applications, and as soon as we're full, then we have to stop applications coming in, because we need time to match you with the best schools, and also give our host families time to choose you. The great thing about early placements is that you get the chance to contact them before you actually travel to the Netherlands, and already bond with them in the months prior. Our local coordinators are there to support you, and these are enthusiastic, often ex-participants. They've experienced their high school exchange themselves. We also have retired teachers. We have just graduated students, all sorts, but they're all very enthusiastic about cultural exchange and seeing you develop on the program. I always have some students that I remember meeting at the airport and who were very shy, and then you see them grow during the program, and the person that you say goodbye to at the end of the program is a completely different person, but so much more, so much stronger, so much wiser than when they first arrived. Also learn to deal with difficult situations sometimes. What you can rely on is that your local coordinator will visit you monthly. So every single month, the local coordinator will come to you and visit you either at the host family's house or at the school. Progress reports, they will write a report on how you're doing and how you're progressing. They will talk to you about your goals for the next period, about your plans, all the activities that you're doing, so they actually see you develop. And they will send the progress report to us, and we will send it to you. And it is also information for your parents to see objectively how you're doing. The local coordinators also organize local student events. There's much to see and to do also in the vicinity of where you live, and they will be happy to show you. So if you stay with us for the academic year, your local coordinator will organize at least 2 of these events for the students that he supports. And from our Amsterdam office, we also organize national student events. We did one last Saturday, and we went to the city of Deventer and did a scavenger hunt in the old city of Deventer. We do ice skating events, for example, and in the spring there are other locations, other things to do. It always has an educational component. You see something, you learn something, but the most important thing is that you meet your fellow exchange students and that you have fun together. We also organize family days to thank our host families for being so heartwarming and taking care of you. 24/7 support. I've got my phone here, so if you're in trouble, then you can reach the emergency phone number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and will always be picked up. So we make sure that you have the number, and you can always rely on us. We see that as a big obligation, making sure that you're safe. You're responsible for your own safety by not doing crazy things. Your host family also feels that they have a big responsibility towards your well-being, but I also feel it personally. The orientation week, the orientation program, we're known for this. You make friends for life, basically, during the first week. It's six days. The group that's arriving this January will arrive on January 8th on Monday, and they will be picked up by their host families on the Saturday, so 6 days later. From Monday to Saturday, there's a full program with a day of sightseeing in Amsterdam, where we show you all the great spots of the city. Actually, with this group, we will go ice skating. So we will do an introductory bicycle tour. We always have students that say, I will never learn, I'll never do this. How can anyone cycle in Amsterdam? But we help you, we teach you, and we make sure that you're safe. And it's going to be your best friend. Your bike is going to be your best friend while on the program. Learning Dutch is a very big component also of the orientation week with professional teachers, groups of 12 students maximum, and getting lots of practice, not just getting used to the words and the sounds, but making your first steps in actually the comprehending our language, but also speaking our language. We do workshops on cultural diversity and lots more topics, but there's also room for entertainment, movies. We do sports, and of course we do an end of the week party where all countries present their own culture, and it has some. We've seen some surprising acts in the past, but I'm always amazed and always pleasantly surprised by how you are the ambassador of your own country. The Meet Your Student Day, that is the Saturday, January 13th, for this group, on which you will meet your host family. So they will come to the venue of the orientation and pick you up. We have a short program also for them there, but they want to take you home and show you their town, their house, and everything. All right. Then the Dutch language training, as I said, we take it very seriously. We also take our schools very seriously, and they welcome you to their schools, but you should not be a burden to them, where they have to make all kinds of adjustments to their curriculum or translate all kinds of tests or books or exercises, whatever. They want you to learn the language as fast as you can, because then you can communicate with your teachers, and you can communicate with your peers, and you can actually understand what is being said by teachers. So that's why we start you off with an online preparation course even before you come to the Netherlands. It's about 20 hours of self-study, but it gives you an idea of the sounds of the language, and you get basic sentences and words. As I said, during the orientation week, you'll have 2.5 more days of Dutch language training. That's where you really pick up speed. And after that, there's an e-learning, 12 weeks, about 3 hours per week, 3 hours per lesson. And that's not something that you do just by yourself, doing e-learning by your computer or on your laptop or iPad. You can do this with your host family and do all kinds of practices or exercises with them. So actively engaged in learning Dutch. You can also use it at school when you really cannot understand the teacher. Then you can always fall back on your e-learning and work on your Dutch skills. Well, I hope I haven't put you off on the program. Learning the Dutch language, it's too difficult. No. We'll help you. You'll be fine. We pride ourselves in having our own language. We are surrounded by people that speak German and English and French and Danish and whatever. We have a wonderful own language, and you'll be proud to learn it as well. Of course, we can always help you because everyone in the Netherlands does speak English, but everyone in the Netherlands also requires you to learn our language. So it's not an alternative to learning Dutch. So everyone speaks English. Well, then I can do with only English. No, that's not the way it works. I think we have a very open and friendly culture. That's what I often hear, that we are quite friendly. Well, thank you. We're a tolerant country, welcoming country. We welcome you to come to the Netherlands. But we can also be quite direct in our communication. We do not mean any harm, but we do share our opinions or speak our minds because we just want to be clear on things. So don't think as being offensive or don't feel offended. No need. We just say what we think and we say what we feel. One of the other reasons is we do have perfect public transportation. It's always a joy to take a train that also arrives on time, and that's not too expensive. And especially if you're between 15 and 18 and you travel on weekends, then the train is just dirt cheap. Wonderful opportunity for you to discover the country and visit your other exchange friends and bring your local friends. You will be given a travel active bike. We've asked the host families to buy a bike that actually fits you, because a Japanese girl is a lot smaller than a Portuguese big guy. So the host family will buy the bike for you, and we pay the host families. It's a necessary means of transportation, so you need a sturdy, good bike. The country itself, we're a very safe country, but it's also a country where you will experience a lot of freedom, and where you can do a lot of stuff by yourself and still be safe. So you can be independent here quite soon. The rest of Europe is easily accessible, it's all fine, but you come from European countries. But still, you can still visit Belgium, for example, or Germany. Take a train, and you'll get there within 3 hours. Included in the program, we do a very careful screening of our host families. You have been screened by Yourway. We recruit and screen the host families. Of course, our local coordinators are engaged in this. They visit the host family or the family that wants to host personally for about 1.5 hours. They talk to all the family members, because even the 7-year-old son has to be in. He also has to give permission for the family to host. If he doesn't like the idea, then we won't do it. So everyone is enthusiastic about hosting you. We do a criminal background check. Well, I've never experienced any problems with that, but it's just to be on the safe side. And we prepare the host families also by providing a host family orientation a few weeks before you actually move in. So it starts with a host family interview, and later on we do a host family orientation. We make sure that you are enrolled in a public high school, the school of choice by the host family often, and any school costs that are attached to this enrollment, we take care of. Support during the program, of course, by the High School Holland team in our office here in Amsterdam, that you're always welcome to visit, but specifically by the local coordinator during the program, and also he or she can be reached at all times, and they are your trusted person. The Dutch online course, as we said earlier, the Travel Active Bike, of course you will get your t-shirt. The orientation week is part of the program. It's mandatory. The student events that we organize lots of events for our students, locally and nationally, and then there's also the family day. So you will see us and see the other students quite often. And as I said, the museum card. Well, we thought of that a few years ago. We were not sure whether our students, 15 through 18, would actually use the museum card, but they love it. If you can go to the Rijksmuseum for free and see all these famous paintings by Rembrandt, for example, or you can just walk in the Vincent van Gogh Museum here in Amsterdam, or the Stedelijk, which is a museum of modern art. You just feel you feel rich if you can just enter without paying for it. These are beautiful museums, and they're all over the country, also in Rotterdam, but also in Maastricht. Travel Active, that's us. I hope that you have a good picture of what we can do to make your high school exchange a success. Maybe you've never thought of the Netherlands, but after tonight, I think you will. So if you have more questions on our program, Yourway is more than happy to help you, and they know where to find us.
Thank you so much, Anna. While I was listening to you, it just came to my mind, and I just want to confirm the language learning capabilities of students, because I remember when I was in high school, I had a friend of mine who did a study abroad program to the Netherlands, a 1-year program, and she didn't have not a word of Dutch before she went there, and she got really fluent by the end of the year. So I just want to confirm that it is possible.
Yeah.
So it's not.
No, it's good that you're also saying it, that a friend of yours, she came back to your country fluent in Dutch, and that she had no Dutch language skills before she came to the Netherlands. And I can confirm, if the students have to be motivated, they have to be willing or enthusiastic about learning a new language, and then it comes easily. But if you're scared of learning a new language, or you're opposed to it, and you think you can get by with just using English, which you cannot, then it's going to be very difficult. But trust yourself that you're also capable of learning this new language, and that we provide you with all the instruments that you need to actually master this language. And I'm always so proud when I meet the students early December at the student event, where they actually speak Dutch amongst themselves. Quite incredible, but also very good to see.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Anna, so much for all the information. It was very thorough, so thank you again, and I hope we will see more and more families joining this program. Just one comment for the audience. If you are interested in the program, please contact us, Yourway Education. You can find us on our website. You can contact directly us through the website, which is yourwayeducation.es, and then we can organize a meeting with us, and then with Travel Active as well. So feel free to reach out to us, and we can give you more details. So thank you so much again, and it was really nice to see you and talk to you, and I hope we can be in touch in the future.
Okay.
Thank you.
To all the students and the parents, tot ziens. Goodbye.
Bye.